Imagine this: you're walking on a path illuminated by a light that no one else can see. This light is your calling, your purpose, your divine mission, a gift given uniquely to you. But here's the paradox: the brighter your light, the more shadows it casts. Some are drawn to the glow, others seek to extinguish it. How do you protect what is sacred without hiding it? How do you shine while remaining unseen by those who might harm you? This is the delicate balance the chosen ones must navigate. You see, being chosen doesn't mean being loud. It doesn't mean wearing your purpose like a badge for the world to see. Real power, the kind that transforms lives and reshapes destinies, often operates in silence, in stillness, in the unseen corners of your life. And this is where the wisdom lies, knowing that sharing too much, too soon, can diminish the very power you've been entrusted to carry.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lessons.
Why? Because when we speak too soon, we expose what is still fragile. We allow others, knowingly or unknowingly, to project their doubts, fears, or envy onto our vision. Now, here's the deeper truth: not everyone is equipped to understand your light. Not everyone can see what you see. And this is not a judgment, it's simply a reality. The chosen ones are given visions, dreams, and insights that are often incomprehensible to others. To share them indiscriminately is to risk misunderstanding, criticism, or even sabotage. So the question you must ask yourself is this: am I sharing for the right reasons? Or am I seeking validation from those who may not even be capable of understanding what I've been entrusted with? Take a moment to reflect on this. Have you ever shared a sacred part of yourself, a dream, a revelation, a moment of spiritual clarity, only to feel regret afterward? What did you learn from that experience? Did it teach you the value of silence? The truth is, silence is a shield. It is not a sign of weakness or fear, it is a sign of wisdom. When you hold something sacred within, you allow it to grow, to deepen, to take root in your spirit. This is why the chosen ones are often called to walk a path of quiet strength. It is not that they lack courage, it is that they understand the power of timing. Let's delve deeper into this concept of timing. Ecclesiastes 3:1 teaches us, "To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven." This verse is not just poetic, it's profoundly practical. It reminds us that there is a divine order to all things. Your dreams, your visions, your spiritual encounters, they all have an appointed time. To reveal them prematurely is to disrupt the natural flow of their unfolding. Consider a fruit tree. If you pick the fruit before it's ripe, it will not nourish you. It might even harm you. In the same way, your dreams and revelations need time to mature. They need the right conditions to thrive. And often, this means protecting them from the harsh elements of doubt, envy, and misunderstanding. Are you willing to wait? Are you willing to trust that God's timing is perfect, even when it feels slow? This is the challenge of the chosen ones: to walk by faith, not by sight. To trust in the unseen workings of the divine, even when the world is clamoring for proof. Here's another layer to consider: the role of discernment. Discernment is the ability to perceive what is true, what is necessary, and what is beneficial. It is a spiritual gift, one that the chosen ones must cultivate relentlessly. Discernment is what allows you to know when to speak and when to remain silent. It is what helps you distinguish between those who are for you and those who are against you, even if they wear the mask of a friend. How often do we ignore the quiet voice of discernment within us? How often do we choose to share, not because it is wise, but because it is easy. And what are the consequences of these choices? The Bible speaks of the importance of guarding our hearts. Proverbs 4:23 says, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Your heart is the wellspring of your life, the seed of your purpose, the source of your light." To guard your heart is to guard the treasures within it, the dreams, the revelations, the divine insights that have been entrusted to you. Guarding your heart does not mean building walls. It means setting boundaries. It means being intentional about who you allow into your inner world. Not everyone who smiles at you is a friend. Not everyone who listens to you has your best interests at heart. This is not a call to paranoia, it is a call to wisdom. Let's pause here for a moment. Ask yourself, who do I trust with my heart? Who do I allow into the sacred spaces of my life? And are these people aligned with the purpose God has placed within me? These are not easy questions, but they are necessary ones. For the chosen ones, the path is often narrow. It requires a level of intentionality and discernment that can feel isolating at times. But remember this, you are never truly alone. The same God who called you, who entrusted you with this light, is walking with you every step of the way. As we move forward, let's revisit the idea of power. True power is not in control or dominance, it is in alignment. When you are aligned with your purpose, with your calling, with the divine will of God, you become unstoppable not because of your strength, but because of the strength of the one who is guiding you. But here's the catch: alignment requires surrender. It requires letting go of the need for approval, the need for recognition, the need to prove yourself. It requires trusting that your worth is not determined by how much others see of you, but by how deeply you are rooted in your divine purpose. Can you surrender? Can you let go of the need to be seen, to be understood, to be validated? Can you trust that the light within you is enough, even if no one else recognizes it? As we close this part, remember this silence is not emptiness. It is fullness. It is the space where your dreams take root, where your purpose unfolds, where your connection with God deepens. Embrace the power of the unseen. Trust in the wisdom of waiting. And know that in your silence you are not hiding, you are growing. The chosen ones are not meant to live ordinary lives. Their journey is marked by moments of unparalleled clarity and profound mystery, by peaks of divine revelation and valleys of hidden preparation. However, the mystery is not a burden, it is a gift. It is in the unseen, the unspoken, and the unknown that the chosen ones draw their strength. Walking the path of mystery requires a willingness to thrive in the shadows, to trust in the light of divine purpose, even when it is hidden from the eyes of others. But here's the question: can you embrace the shadows? Can you walk a path that doesn't always make sense to the world around you, but is deeply rooted in truth? This is the challenge of the chosen ones. To thrive in the shadows, you must first understand that the shadows are not your enemy. They are your ally, a place of incubation where your purpose is protected and nurtured, away from the harsh glare of scrutiny. Let's begin with this paradox: the chosen ones are often misunderstood. Have you noticed how the world views those who operate in quiet strength? Silence is often mistaken for weakness, mystery for secrecy, and humility for invisibility. But none of these things are true. Operating in silence doesn't mean you are hiding, it means you are protecting. Keeping your life a mystery doesn't mean you are being secretive, it means you are discerning. And choosing humility doesn't mean you lack confidence, it means your confidence is grounded in something far greater than yourself. Think about the life of Jesus. Throughout his ministry, he often chose to withdraw from the crowds, to go into the wilderness, to pray in solitude. Even after performing miracles, he would tell those he healed not to speak of it. Why? Because Jesus understood the power of timing and the importance of preparation. His purpose was not to seek validation from the masses, but to fulfill a divine mission. And that mission required moments of quiet, hidden growth before it could flourish in the open. Are you willing to follow this example? Are you willing to retreat when necessary, to allow God to work on you in the secret places of your life? This is not always easy in a world that glorifies visibility. But remember, true power is not found in being seen, it is found in being aligned. Here's another truth about walking the path of mystery: it requires patience. Patience is perhaps one of the hardest virtues to cultivate, especially for those who are called to greatness. There is a natural desire to move forward, to step into the fullness of your purpose, to see the fruits of your labor. But the chosen ones must learn to wait not passively, but actively. Waiting is not about doing nothing, it is about preparing, refining, and growing in the hidden seasons. Consider the story of Moses. Before he led the Israelites out of Egypt, he spent 40 years in the wilderness as a shepherd. 40 years. To the outside world, it might have seemed like Moses had been forgotten, that his life had no direction. But in reality, those years were a time of preparation. God was shaping him, teaching him humility, patience, and dependence. When the time came for Moses to step into his calling, he was ready not because he had rushed the process, but because he had embraced it. What about you? Are you in a season of waiting? Does it feel like nothing is happening? Like your purpose is on hold? If so, remember this: God does some of his greatest work in the wilderness. The waiting is not a delay, it is an investment. Every moment spent in preparation is a moment that strengthens you for the journey ahead. But patience alone is not enough. Walking the path of mystery also requires trust. Trust is the foundation of the chosen one's journey. Without it, the shadows become overwhelming, the silence deafening, and the mystery unbearable. Trusting in God's plan, even when you can't see the whole picture, is what allows you to move forward with confidence. Let's be honest, trust is hard. It's one thing to say you trust God, but it's another thing entirely to live it. Trust means surrendering control. It means letting go of the need to understand every step of the journey. It means believing that even when things don't make sense, they are working together for your good. Do you trust God with your life, with your dreams, with your purpose? This is a question the chosen ones must answer every single day. And the answer is not found in words, but in actions. Trust is shown in your willingness to wait, in your ability to keep going even when the path is unclear, and in your decision to protect what is sacred, even when you are tempted to share it. Now, let's talk about another crucial aspect of thriving in the shadows: humility. Humility is not weakness, it is strength under control. It is the quiet confidence that comes from knowing who you are and whose you are. The chosen ones do not need to announce their purpose to the world because they are secure in their identity. They know that their worth is not determined by human applause, but by divine approval. Think about David. Before he became king, David was anointed in secret. He didn't rush to take the throne or demand recognition. Instead, he returned to the fields, tending sheep and serving faithfully. David's humility allowed him to wait for God's timing, and when the time came for him to rule, he was prepared not just in skill but in character. Do you have the humility to serve in the shadows, to work quietly while trusting that God will elevate you in His time? This is not easy, especially when the world tells you to hustle, to promote yourself, to chase after recognition. But the chosen ones are not called to follow the world's ways. They are called to follow a higher path, a path that values character over clout, faithfulness over fame, and purpose over popularity. Finally, let's explore the most profound element of walking the path of mystery: intimacy with God. This is what sets the chosen ones apart. Their strength does not come from their own abilities, it comes from their relationship with the divine. Intimacy with God is what sustains them in the shadows, what guides them in the silence, and what strengthens them in the waiting. But intimacy requires effort. It requires time spent in prayer, in meditation, in studying the Word. It requires a willingness to be still, to listen, to seek God's presence above all else. The chosen ones understand that their power is not their own, it is a reflection of the one who has called them. How is your relationship with God? Are you taking the time to nurture it, to deepen it, to let it be the foundation of everything you do? If not, now is the time. The path of mystery is not one you can walk alone. You need the guidance, the wisdom, and the strength that only God can provide. As we close, let me leave you with this final thought: the chosen ones are not defined by what they reveal, but by what they protect. Your purpose, your dreams, your spiritual encounters, these are treasures, not to be flaunted, but to be cherished. By walking the path of mystery, you align yourself with a higher calling, one that transcends the need for validation and embraces the beauty of divine timing. So the next time you feel the urge to share, pause. Ask yourself, is this the right time? Is this the right person? Is this God's will? Let your answers guide you. And remember, in the silence, in the waiting, in the mystery, you are not alone. You are walking a path that many cannot see, but it is one that leads to a purpose greater than you could ever imagine. May you thrive in the shadows, grow in the silence, and shine in God's perfect time. There is an ancient wisdom that whispers the strongest trees grow in the deepest forests, where no one sees them. This truth is a reminder that the most profound growth often happens in obscurity, away from the noise and distractions of the world. The chosen ones are called to this path of hidden mastery, a journey not of public displays but of private refinement. It is not a path for the faint of heart, because it demands discipline, trust, and a deep commitment to the unseen process of becoming. But why is the hidden path so powerful? Why does God call His chosen ones to walk in silence and mystery? The answer lies in the very nature of power itself. True power doesn't come from what is seen, it comes from what is unseen. It comes from the roots, the foundation, the inner strength that is cultivated in private long before it is revealed to the world. Let's explore this further. Think of a seed buried deep in the soil. To the outside world, it looks like nothing is happening. It is hidden, covered, and seemingly insignificant. But beneath the surface, the seed is undergoing a transformation. It is breaking open, sending roots deep into the earth, drawing nutrients, and building a foundation that will support the tree it is destined to become. The hidden stage is not a delay, it is the most critical part of the process. Now consider your own life. Are you in a season where you feel buried, hidden, or unseen? If so, take heart. This is not a punishment, it is preparation. God is working beneath the surface, strengthening your roots, deepening your foundation, and equipping you for the purpose you have been called to fulfill. But here's the key: you must trust the process. You must embrace the hidden path and allow it to do its work in you. Ask yourself, am I willing to be unseen for a season so that I can grow into the fullness of my purpose? Or am I rushing to be seen, risking the stability of my foundation for the fleeting satisfaction of recognition? The hidden path also teaches us the art of surrender. To walk this path is to relinquish control, to let go of the need to understand every step, and to trust that God's plan is unfolding exactly as it should. This requires humility, and humility is one of the most powerful virtues the chosen ones can possess. Why is humility so important? Because humility keeps us grounded. It reminds us that our purpose is not about us, it is about God. When we operate from a place of humility, we are free from the traps of pride, comparison, and envy. We no longer feel the need to prove ourselves or to compete with others. Instead, we can focus fully on our own journey, trusting that God's timing is perfect. Think about Jesus washing the feet of his disciples. In that moment, he demonstrated the true nature of power, not in dominance, but in service. Are you willing to embrace this kind of humility? Are you willing to serve in the shadows, knowing that your reward is not in the applause of others, but in the fulfillment of your divine purpose? Let's take this further. The hidden path is not just about preparation, it is also about protection. When God calls you to walk in silence, it is often because he is shielding you from forces that would seek to harm you. This is not just about physical enemies, it is about spiritual forces, distractions, and even your own ego. You see, visibility comes with a cost. The more you are seen, the more you are exposed. The more you are exposed, the more you are exposed, the more vulnerable you become to criticism, envy, and spiritual attacks. This is why God often keeps his chosen ones hidden during their most critical seasons of growth. It is not to punish you, it is to protect you. Think about David in the wilderness, hiding from Saul. Those years of hiding were not wasted, they were essential. In the wilderness, David learned to trust God completely. He developed the skills, the character, and the faith he would need to become a king. If David had rushed the process, if he had sought to take the throne before the appointed time, he would not have been ready. The wilderness was his place of protection and preparation. Are you willing to embrace your own wilderness season? Can you trust that God is keeping you hidden for a reason? This is not easy, especially when the world around you seems to be moving forward while you feel stuck. But remember, the hidden path is not about staying still, it is about building strength. It is about becoming the person you need to be to fulfill your calling. Now, let's talk about discernment. Discernment is one of the greatest tools the chosen ones must master. It is the ability to see beyond the surface, to understand what is truly important, and to make decisions that align with your divine purpose. Discernment is what allows you to navigate the hidden path with wisdom and grace. But discernment is not something you are born with, it is something you cultivate. It comes through prayer, through meditation, through studying God's word, and through quiet reflection. It comes from listening to the still, small voice within you and trusting it, even when it goes against the noise of the world. How often do you take the time to listen, to be still, to seek God's guidance before making a decision? In our fast-paced world, it is easy to rush ahead, to act on impulse, or to follow the crowd. But the chosen ones are called to a higher standard. They are called to move with intention, to act with purpose, and to trust in the wisdom that comes from alignment with God. Let's pause here for a moment. Reflect on this question: how can I cultivate greater discernment in my life? What practices can I adopt to deepen my connection with God and to align my actions with His will? Finally, let's return to the idea of power. True power is not loud, it is quiet. It is not boastful, it is humble. It is not about being seen, it is about being effective. The chosen ones are not called to shine for their own glory, they are called to reflect the glory of God. This is why the hidden path is so essential. It strips away the distractions, the ego, and the need for validation, leaving only what is true and lasting. As you walk this path, remember that your power does not come from what you do or how much others see of you. Your power comes from your connection with God. It comes from your willingness to trust, to wait, and to surrender. It comes from your ability to protect what is sacred, to guard the treasures that have been entrusted to you, and to let them grow in the silence. So, dear one, do not fear the shadows. Do not resist the hidden seasons of your life. Embrace them, knowing that they are shaping you, strengthening you, and preparing you for something far greater than you can imagine. Walk the path of mystery with faith, with humility, and with unwavering trust in the one who has called you. In the end, the hidden path is not about staying hidden forever. It is about emerging at the right time as the person you were created to be. It is about stepping into your purpose with confidence, knowing that you are fully prepared and fully aligned. It is about walking in the fullness of your calling, not for your own glory, but for the glory of the one who has guided you every step of the way. Are you ready to walk this path? Are you ready to thrive in the shadows, to grow in the silence, and to trust in the unseen work of God? If so, take the next step with faith, knowing that you are never alone. The hidden path is not a lonely one, it is a sacred one, and it leads to a power that cannot be shaken. May you find strength in the silence, wisdom in the waiting, and peace in the mystery. This is your journey, and it is unfolding exactly as it should. Trust it, embrace it, and let it transform you.